Welcome back to JavaScript lessons on Codecademy. So last time we reminded ourselves of how arrays work. Today we're going to be looking a bit more at arrays. So now that we've reviewed some array basics, it's time to cover a little new ground. First, it's not necessary for us to put the same type of data in an array. For instance, you don't have to have all strings or all numbers. You can have different things. So you can have numbers, booleans and strings in one array, so you can mix it up. And apparently this is called a heterogeneous array, so that's, I guess, can be useful. I mean, the name is not really useful unless you're given a task to create a heterogeneous array. So what we need to do is actually create this type of an array, which we need to call myArray, and with at least 3 elements. The first element should be a number, the second should be a boolean, and the third should be a string. Feel free to add more elements of any type if you like. So first one should be a number. I will just do that. Second one can be false for a boolean, and the third one can be a string. There we go. 7 submit, and we are done. So let's move on. You can also have arrays of arrays. So yeah, that can be slightly confusing. So let's just see. The next thing to know is that not only can you put a mixture of types in an array, you can even put other arrays inside arrays. You can make a 2-dimensional array by nesting arrays in one layer deep, like so. So as you can see, you have 2 arrays inside another array. So this array is 2-dimensional because it has 2 rows that each contain 2 items. If you were to put a line between the 2 rows, you could log a 2D object, like a square, to the console, like so, as you can see here. So what we need to do is create a 2-dimensional array called newArray in the editor. It should have 3 rows and 3 columns containing any data you like. Check the hint if you need help. So this is quite easy. We need to call it newArray. And so we need 3 arrays in it, all with 3 elements. So I'll do one with strings. Oops, I don't want to do it like that. I'll do it 1A, B, and C. The second one can be 1, 2, and 3. The third one can be true, false, true. There we go. And if we save and submit, oops, I actually want to print that out. So let's do console.log and new array and see what happens. I think it's just going to put it into one line because we haven't sorted it. Yes, so if you wanted to print in different lines, you would have to use a for loop, and after each element you would have to leave a space. So how you would do that is doing for I equals 0 while I is less than the length of new array. Oops, I don't need a comma there, I need a semicolon. And then I++. And inside you would do new array. Oops, no, you would do console.log new array. And here you need I. And then after each line you would have to do something like this. I hope that this works. Start new oops, I did not mean to start new lesson. That was a mistake. Oh, and it doesn't remember it. Okay, I will come back. So as you can see here, you have what gets printed out if you do something like this is all of these. So you get A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, true, false, true, where A is under 1, which is under true, B is under 2, which is under false, and C is under 3, which is under true. If you wanted to make it more accurately under each other, you would have to make them all the same length. So A, here 1, and then something that's 1 character instead of 4. But this was just an example of how you could use it. So let's save and submit and continue. Jagged Arrays, great work that that's a fine looking multi-dimensional array you've got there. Yours is nested one, but it's a 2-dimensional array, but if you really wanted, you could put arrays inside arrays for even more dimensions, i.e. 3 dimensions. Sometimes you want arrays that aren't as nice and even as your 3x3 2-dimensional array. You may have 3 elements in the first row, 1 element in the second row, and 2 elements in the third row. JavaScript allows those, and they're called jagged arrays. Okay, so we need to create a jagged array called jagged. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I think it's jagged and not jagged. I hope so. You can place whatever you like in it. So we again need 3 arrays inside this one array. So let's make something like similar to what we did previously. A, B, and C. In the second one we will only have 1 element, and in the third one we will have 2 elements. You can place whatever you like in it. The only requirement is that it has at least 2 rows. That is, the first 2 elements need to be arrays, and those rows cannot be the same length. So let's see if this works. I will just print it out normally without the for loop. Oops, okay. Invalid left hand side in assignment. Did you declare a variable called jagged? Oops, I meant var jagged, not new. I don't know why I put new there. I have no idea. Okay, so as you can see, this still works. They don't have to be, the arrays inside the array don't have to be the same length. You can have one with 3 elements, another one with 1 element, a third one with 2 elements, and so on. And these apparently are called jagged arrays. It can come in useful to know, I guess, sometimes maybe. So far we've reviewed arrays, how to access an array by offset, and array properties, and iterating over arrays with a for loop. You can also do it with a while loop, which we have covered before, so make sure you check that out. I think it's just called how to use arrays and while loops or something like that. We also learned about heterogeneous arrays, learned about multidimensional arrays, and we also learned about jagged arrays. So on the topic of multidimensional arrays, you can also have an array which is inside an array, which is inside a third array, as we mentioned before. So you could have something like var array equals something like this. So hello, and then inside this array you can have another element, hi, and then a third one. Oops, I did not mean to do that. And here, I don't know, I will put hey. So this is the array which contains other arrays, and we can copy that, and let's see what happens if we print it out, shall we? I.e. console log it. So actually nothing interesting is going to happen, because it's all going to be flat, as you can see here, because that's just how this prints it out. But if you used a for loop nested inside a for loop, and you printed it out, you might get some interesting results. You can try that out and see how that works out. So yeah, if you like this video, please click the like button. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments down below. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and until next time, goodbye.